Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to council meeting. If you could stand for a pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could you please remain standing, Todd? Could you lead us in invitation?
Absolutely. Let's bow our heads in prayer. Again, we're blessed to be here today, Heavenly Father. We realize your presence. We can look around and see your existence. Lord, we ask that you will be with this meeting tonight, that you will bless it, just like you blessed each of us every day of our lives, Lord. We ask that you'll give this council the wisdom and courage and the knowledge to make the decisions that's before them tonight. We ask that you'll bless this decisions that they make. We ask all this in your Son's name and pray. Amen.
Please be seated. All right, first on tonight's agenda, the special presentation request, none scheduled. New business recognition, unfortunately none scheduled this time. So next will be the approval of the minutes for a council meeting of December 8th, 2020, and the special called executive session of council and IDA of January 7th, 2021. So could I get a motion for approval, please?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. All in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed state so by saying nay. All right, motion carries. The next is the approval of the financial statements and financial report for December 2020. I need a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed state so by saying nay. Motion carries. Next, we're going to get a Planning Commission committee update by Council Member Davis.
Planning Commission met last Monday, and we talked, there was someone that came forward and was requesting rezoning of a piece of property of land. It involves, I think there's 5 parcels. There's actually 3 different landowners, so we're not just spot rezoning one. But we're requesting that we go ahead and set a public hearing for that. And that is coming up later in the agenda.
Any questions? Okay, next we're going to move on to our unfinished business portion of the meeting. So Manager Davis will give us an update on the sports complex.
Okay, as each of y'all know, this is an area that kind of turns me inside out and makes me jump for joy every time I think about it. And that thought process took place probably 3 or 4 years ago. So please excuse me if I'm wound up tight over the prospect of having an indoor sports complex in Tazewell. But if you'll recall, a couple of meetings ago, I was in the process of working with engineering firms, and what we were going to do was put an RFP or PER or however how you want to say that in the paper. And the idea was to get interested engineering firms, and out of nowhere, I guess it's been about a month and a half ago, I got a phone call from Synergy Sports. And Synergy Sports had teamed up with T&L and came in to introduce what's better known as a Triple P project or PPEA project. You got solicited, non-solicited. We'll get into that. Matter of fact, Brad will elaborate a little bit on it. But just today, matter of fact, this evening I received that document that each of you knew that we were waiting on, and I have not had an opportunity to go through it in detail. I have skimmed over it. It's about a 7 or 8 page document. And what I'd like to do, instead of putting council on the spot, like I said we were going to do at our last meeting, is I'd like to take time, go over it, do due diligence on it, and also give this council the opportunity to read. It's in your packet. Read through it and maybe take till maybe Friday. If you got any questions that you'd like me to forward on. And then what I'll do is just ask council for support to enact the agreement, and we can go from there. But
Well, I have a question now.
sure.
That cost that it's showing on here,
Mhm.
that covers all those initial costs we were talking about in the meeting last Thursday.
Right.
Is that correct?
I don't know that. I talked to Jason. Like I said, I haven't been through it. I talked to Jason this evening for about 10 minutes and told him that the way it was introduced, that I would need it itemized, number one.
Okay.
Projects all itemized, and we've also done a phase one on that site. Did a phase one a long time ago. So just over the phone, the price dropped $5,000 because he had a cost in there. Well, I can't see that cost. So he's got a lump sum in there, which is okay if they stick with it, but when they come back and say, but by the way, that wasn't, I don't like that a whole lot. So he's gonna itemize it.
And that will be like all T&L's costs and everything, that's all will be in?
That's what that's what I'm after.
Okay.
That's what I'm after, but it's not clear in here, and once again, I don't mean to be repetitive, I have not had the chance to go over it in detail. I skimmed over it for about 10 minutes this evening. So I know each of you are going to want an opportunity to take a look at it, and these triple P projects can be an answer to a prayer. They can be a blessing. To have somebody come in and take that much financial load off the locality makes a project like that possible, to tell you the truth. But again, I like to request that we just take a look at it, and maybe by Friday of this week, y'all probably done read it already, but let me know if you've got any questions or any comments, and Brad and I will look at it legally. There's some areas in there that need to be tweaked. The scope of work needs to be identified a little better than what it is.
Okay.
So we don't need to vote on that, right?
I'm not in a position to recommend you vote on it.
Is it possible to consider a vote to give Todd the authority to move forward with this if all his questions are answered?
I think legally, yeah, I mean, we can,
I know we can do it, I guess I want
you're asking more.
to,
Yeah, because would we be able to vote? I mean,
Well,
is that something we can do, like a vote online? I mean, or do we?
Right, no, you can. I can use that information and file those emails accordingly, and that's what I was requesting. If you've got questions about it, get them to me, I'll ask them. I'm just requesting that your questions be forwarded to me by Friday, and I'll get them to Jason. Of course, it's going to take him 2 or 3 days to answer those questions. And what I would like to do after that is, after all those questions and changes are made, I'll just email each of you and ask for support to move forward with it.
It does say that the evaluation is limited to a site analysis only. The scope of services does not include an evaluation of proposed building or program.
Right.
So,
It's just
but
site.
if you remember from the meeting Thursday night, based on what the presentation was, it was basically pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
You know, we changed that, but right now it's pretty straightforward. So,
Yeah, the analysis, I mean, the core drilling, the environmental, phase one is only documentary.
Yeah.
So-
I think what Dr. Catherine holds true, that we need something broke out that kind of.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's the reason I'm not asking for the question. I mean, he's got number one, itemize it and take out that phase one. We've already got that, so.
So you have a vote here. I'm trying to figure out what you want to vote.
Well, that was before I thought it was gonna be here a couple of days ago, so I'm not in a position to.
Gotcha.
vote.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we give Todd authority to due diligence with it, and based on everything that was presented to us last week. If our manager is comfortable with getting everything they said we would get, and that first for that number, that we give him the authority to move forward with it.
I second that motion.
Got a second? All in favor, state so by saying aye. All opposed? Okay, Todd.
All right.
Ready to move forward, and
I'm excited about it. I think y'all will get on the page. What do you think, Chris?
I'm excited about it. So, can I say one thing about it?
absolutely.
Okay, so this started coming up, one thing is a bit wrong. It involves the mayor. It's deep and dark. So this all came up, this all came up when the mayor's daughter and my daughter were in, I believe, 7th grade. And this is before the mayor's was our mayor, but I came back from Asheville, North Carolina, where I was at a soccer tournament with the mayor and several other parents. And I never really asked you how light your wallet was when you came back tonight, but mine was down about $500.
Easy.
And we spent all that money in the town of in the city of Asheville, on hotels, on restaurants, on gas, on food, on, I know Dr. Ketchum's been through it with his kids even prior to that, because he's a little older than us. But I've been excited about the opportunity with that since then. And since then, travel basketball, we went to Marion, I want to say 3 years ago. And without a facility, Marion used every gymnasium in their town. And there was easy 15 teams there from all over Southwest Virginia, Eastern Virginia, and Tennessee and North Carolina. And the amount of money that just our team spent in that restaurant on Main Street was amazing. And then, you know, time goes on and we want it, and time goes on and we keep dreaming about it. And then the Back of the Dragon kind of happens, and it just to me seems like it's so synergistic, where if we get this thing and things happen and we get hotels with it, think about how, like, especially this indoor facility. So it's busiest from fall to spring.
When we have no tourists.
And when is Back of the Dragon busiest? Spring to fall. So I think they complement each other so well for keeping our retail businesses and bringing in more retail businesses and supporting this community. And quite frankly, what it comes down to is this, and this is where my head's been for all the years I've been on this council, is that the cost of doing business for this town goes up every day. And if we don't do something to continue to look outside the box to find ways to reduce the tax load on our citizens, there's only two ways they're going to stay in business. Either we bring more business and people in, or we increase taxes, or we lose services. And I don't know how many more services we could possibly lose. So I think this is our best opportunity and our best chance in the coming future to truly make it the thing that Dr. Mullins and all of us have talked about as a place where our kids can come back to if they choose to, where there can be employment and there can be opportunities, and this place can be one of the jewels of Southwest Virginia. So, and this goes beyond Tazewell. The presentation this gentleman made last week was inspiring. And what I loved about it, it wasn't just some fluff in the sky. It was based on real data from other places. So I'm just over the moon with the opportunity that this happened. So, or that it's getting closer to happening, I should say. So, thank you.
And I'd like to speak and also offer support. I'm older than any of you probably, and I've seen it with following my grandchildren. I've been all over the eastern part of the United States for volleyball. I've been all over the eastern part of the United States for wrestling tournaments. And I know also even grandparents spend hundreds of dollars when they follow these events.
I think they might spend more.
They probably do.
Probably do, yeah, buying for the kids themselves. But you're exactly right, and I think that this does provide that opportunity that this community needs to take. And I'm so thankful that we've got a council who is progressively minded enough to realize that we've got to move forward. We cannot stand still.
Well, I'll go one step further. I am older than you, yes. And so probably about 14 years ago was when I first started traveling with my kids. And back then, I couldn't get anybody to listen to me. The idea was like, we need something like this here. And
You actually did it once.
we did we did at least 3 tournaments here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same thing you saw at Marion. We bring the kid, we'd use the old junior high, we'd use the middle school, we'd use the high school, and run teams from all over the place through here. We did big ones, we did smaller ones just to buy equipment. So it works. And people spend money, and it's, it's crazy the amount of money you could make. I know the one tournament we did when Justin Hankins got injured, and we raised money for him. I don't know how many of y'all remember that, but we raised like $18,000 in the weekend for Justin Hankins, just having a basketball tournament. So it'll work.
I know Tazewell today did the volleyball tournament last year, and they actually had to cut off the number of teams that wanted to come
Yep.
because we didn't have the capacity.
All right. Man, thank you.
Some great news to start 2021.
Yes.
Off the hook, for sure.
Anything else? Okay, we'll move on to the new business. We've got to vote on some reappointments. The first reappointment is Clerk Leanne Reagan. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed state so by saying nay. Leanne, you're safe again. Next is the reappointment of Fire Chief Jason Hodge. Can I get a motion to approve? Or to reappoint, sorry.
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed state so by saying nay. Reappointment confirmed. Next is to reappoint Town Attorney Brad Pyatt. Can I get a motion to reappoint?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor state so by saying aye. All opposed state so by saying nay. Reappointment carries. Next, we understand we have to fill 2 vacancies for the IEDA. We'll discuss that at another time, but right now, Todd, do I need to
Yeah, you got
mention
3,
each person individually, but not get a separate vote?
you got 3 vacancies, but there's only one that needs to be reappointed, and that's Mr. Zach Klein.
Okay, can I get a motion to reappoint Mr. Zach Klein to the IEDA?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor state so by saying aye. All opposed state so by saying nay. Reappointment carries. So this has everyone listed out, so how do I know who needs reappointment?
You've got Benny, you on planning commission?
The top
Yes.
4.
You got Benny Moore, Richard Taylor, Larry Lutz, and Susan Reeves need to be reappointed on planning commission.
Okay, so all in favor of approving Benny Moore, Richard Taylor, Larry Lutz, and Susan Reeves on the planning commission, please state, or I need a motion, I guess. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll second it.
All in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed state so by saying nay. Appointment carries. Let's see. So how many on the board of zoning?
All
of them.
All of them.
Then you got Daniel Ingram, William Weeks, Anthony Brewster, Benny Moore, Joe Bowen, Brad Pike.
Need a motion to approve the reappointment?
I'm not on this, I'm not on
He
this.
just can't.
He just
I'm
can't.
just circuit counsel for the BZA.
Okay,
So I'm not being reappointed in that capacity
okay,
as a member of the BZA.
right, understood. So can I get a motion to approve reappointment?
Second.
All in favor state so by saying aye. Aye. All opposed state so by saying nay. Reappointment carries. Next, Historic Review Board. Todd,
Yeah, you got Zach Cash, Dan Roberts.
can I get a motion to approve Zach Cash and Diane Roberts for reappointment?
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor state so by saying aye. All opposed state so by saying nay. Reappointment carries. Next one, please think long and hard about this. The reappointment of Town Manager Todd Day.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor state so by saying aye. All
Comment
opposed?
section?
What's that?
Is there a comment section?
Not yet.
Discussion.
Yeah, we could have had a long one there. All opposed state so by saying nay. Reappointment confirmed and approved.
Thank you very much.
So next, we need to set a public hearing for rezoning request for 499 Main Street at 523 Main Street. Chris, do you have anything to discuss there?
Yes, you got the memo letter there in the head.
Is it the blue section in there?
Yeah, down in the map, where it's the second page of the new business.
And it's all the blue area?
Blue, 3 blue parcels on the bottom of the street there, blue, south side Main Street.
Yeah, I see it.
Well, one of us,
What about on the other side of Main Street?
that'll say all residential because there's no businesses on it.
Okay.
So this is,
It's basically connecting.
The second, what is the district?
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth 30 down to
Terminal.
the
Yeah.
Fire department.
Yeah, down to the fire department.
And you need to carry the overlay with it. There's the overlay, you see the hash lines in the red area, the pink area, that's got the overlay district on it also. So that needs to,
and that blue line needs to come out around it. Is that what you mean?
No, you talking about the overlay?
No, the blue, there's a blue line, is that like a water line or?
that's the creek.
Yeah, I thought that was the creek, yeah.
Nothing,
Can you move that?
get real close to that. But he come to the planning commission, made a unanimous vote. All we need is a vote to set a public hearing, the next council meeting, to get any input. And we have to notify the adjoining landowners, if I counted up, like it's 12, not less than 5 days, no more than 21 days after the second advertisement. So I'll get certified letters to tell them they got any input to come to that public hearing.
It'll be a joint public hearing as well.
Planning commission and council. at the same time.
By the way, I like to promote that rezoning, that's pretty incredible, it's some foresight right there, by the way. Get that done.
Why not the other side of the street too?
Nobody ever heard asked for it.
That's all.
Do they have to ask for it? Well, it doesn't have to be that. I mean, there's residential houses on Riverside Drive that have changed zoning, right?
Right across the map, yeah,
Yeah.
sure is.
Wouldn't it help their land value if we did that?
I don't know if they want that. Probably would.
We can ask them. Can we move on with this one though further?
So would we have executive session at 6:30 and a joint public hearing at 7?
Yeah, we can schedule it that way.
So can I get a motion to set a joint public hearing for the February council meeting at 7 o'clock?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed state so by saying nay. Okay, motion carries. Next is the PPEA resolution and model guidelines discussion. Attorney Pyatt.
I guess it's a throwback to where you were talking, of course, with Todd and the unfinished business with the sports complex discussion. The PPA basically is an acronym for the Public-Private Education Facilities and Infrastructure Act, which has been in place in Virginia since 2002. It requires the adoption of certain guidelines, or a set of guidelines. Model guidelines are available, or procedures really what they're called, for the purposes of the council to be able to enter into PPP or public-private partnership arrangements with potentially private developers. You have to have those in place because you're dealing with basically guidelines, procedures that allow for working with private individuals and dealing with separate from what public procurement would ordinarily require in terms of advertising. A set of guidelines are provided for those. You have those in your packet. What it basically also would entail was the adoption of a resolution that basically says we are going to follow these model guidelines if we expect that the town council is going to be utilizing PPP contracts, agreements in the future for property development. So what I have drafted before the mayor is basically a resolution that has the council to adopt those model procedures, which also includes as an appendix the actual act itself.
Yes, so Councilmember Mullins has agreed to introduce the following resolution, and I will read it. Whereas the council for the town of Tazewell has determined that a need exists for the town to have the authority to create and enter into a public-private partnership for the development of a wide range of potential projects for the town of Tazewell, such that private involvement may provide a project to the public in a timely and/or cost-effective fashion. And whereas in order to have such authority, the council for the town, under the terms of the Public-Private Education Facilities and Infrastructure Act of 2002, Virginia Code 56-575.1, Code of Virginia of 1950 as amended, PPEA is required to adopt procedures that it will follow to receive any proposal submitted to the town under the PPEA. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the Town of Tazewell, Virginia, a responsible public entity of the Commonwealth of Virginia, that it hereby adopts the model guidelines of the PPEA, a copy of which is attached hereunto and incorporated herein by reference for the purposes set forth here and above. Be it further resolved by the Council of the Town of Tazewell, Virginia, that the town manager is hereby designated as the individual to serve as the point of contact to receive proposals submitted to the town under the PPEA and to respond to inquiries regarding the PPEA or the procedures set forth therein. This resolution is second. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilmember Catron. And we need to do this by roll call. Please state your yay or nay as I call your name. Councilmember Beasley.
Yay.
Councilmember Brown.
Yay.
Councilmember Catron.
Yay.
Councilmember Davis.
Yay.
Councilmember Fox.
Yay.
Councilmember Mullins.
Yay.
No opposition, so resolution carries forward.
Be in effect in 30 days.
What's that?
It's effective 30 days, I know ordinance.
Okay.
Similar to an ordinance.
So next is the Tazewell School Choice Week Proclamation. And I'll read the proclamation here. Whereas all children in Tazewell should have access to the highest quality education possible, and whereas Tazewell recognizes the important role that an effective education plays in preparing all students in Tazewell to be successful adults, and whereas quality education is critically important to the economic vitality of Tazewell, and whereas Tazewell is home to a variety of high-quality public and non-public schools from which parents can choose for their children, in addition to families who educate their children in the home, and whereas educational variety not only helps to diversify our economy, but also enhances the vibrancy of our community. And whereas Tazewell has many high-quality teaching professionals in all types of school settings who are committed to educating our children. And whereas School Choice Week is celebrated across the country by millions of students, parents, educators, schools, and organizations to raise awareness of the need for effective educational options. Now, therefore, I, Michael F. Hoops, do hereby recognize January 24th through 30th, 2021 as Tazewell School Choice Week, and I call this observance to the attention of all our citizens. Adopted this 12th day of January 2021. So can I get a motion to...
So moved. Second.
All in favor, stay so by saying aye. All opposed, stay so by saying nay. Motion carries. Next on the agenda, Manager Dave will discuss extending recycling center days and hours.
Okay, I had a request, I believe it was at the last council meeting from an elected official to bring that up for discussion, so.
Yeah. Previously, when we first opened the recycling center, we had to have it staffed because we didn't have any other options, so we were paying someone to be there. Now we have put in some cameras, so we are able to pretty much open it up in the morning, close it at dark, and as far as I know, we have not had any issues with it. Right now, we have the center open on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And I would like to request that we go ahead and extend those to other days of the week. I would say possibly all of them.
I don't have any,
I think mine is Sunday. Kind of follow what the county landfill does.
Well, I don't see why you wouldn't.
All it requires is somebody to unlock it and lock it up, right?
Right, and you have, and
Y'all
right
do
now, is it the police department that's locking it, unlocking it? And they're working anyway. So,
I think we should do it.
why not? And you know, I mean, the weekend is prime time for people to do stuff and get rid of things in their house.
What about unloading it?
we probably won't have to pick it up any more often.
You're gonna get more stuff.
Yeah, We'll just run it. We'll run it on Saturday and
Let's say as long as you make sure to run it on Saturday, then you don't have to worry about getting it on Sunday.
the whole idea was, when we first put it in, we had somebody up there. But the reason we went to 3 days instead of all 7 was because if it was vandalized, people, if you had it open 7 days a week, and I had to pay somebody to go back up there, I was gonna want it 3 days a week. So people don't like having to go backwards. So yeah, I mean, it worked out perfect. We've had a little bit of trouble up there, but nothing that's, unmanageable. We've had some refrigerators dumped and this, that, tires.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about the cameras, because then you can look back on them and see exactly where they came from.
So do we need to vote on that, or?
You don't have to vote on it. If that's what you want to do, just give me a head nod and I'll move forward.
Let's give it a go, and if it gives the town a problem, we'll bring it back.
Sounds good. Okay, next, the miscellaneous public comment. Brad, is anybody sign in? Come on up. Please state your name and address, please. Might get in trouble if I ask her to limit it 3 minutes.
I'm not here on personal capacity. I apologize. I didn't get on the agenda. This meeting totally snuck up on me. I didn't realize that it was today until, I don't know, about 3 o'clock when I panicked and said, Todd, can I give a quick update? So Tazewell today, first of all, we want to welcome Joe Beasley. Congratulations. I just have 3 quick things I want to update you guys on. First being the Amphitheater project. You'll recall about a year ago, we came and asked for that property to be deeded to Tazewell today so that we could find funding and eventually build an outdoor event center there on that property. Earlier in the year, we applied for the CPROC grant through the Cumberland Plateau, and because we did not have an engineering drawing to submit with that, we were denied. So all year, I've been trying to finagle a free engineering drawing because they are about $25,000. Good news, so because of our Main Street designation, our Virginia Main Street designation, we were eligible for a grant that I applied for, and we got it. And this grant is going to cover our engineering drawing for the amphitheater project. And I'm supposed to have that in hand mid-January, so it should be coming any day now. And so once we have that drawing, we can pursue other avenues of funding. We can't go after the CPROC grant this round, but there are other things that we're gonna go after. So we haven't forgotten about it. We did get the bricks cleaned up, though. It looks great. So that's what's happening there. The mini park, I feel like I've been updating you guys about that for a while now, but we're in the home stretch. We partnered with the Pocahontas State Correctional Facility, and the carpentry class built us the coolest information kiosk. It's shaped like a British-style film booth. It's going to hold, you've heard my spiel, it's going to hold a brochure rack, event schedules, business directories, blah, blah, blah. A little mini visitor center. It's built, it's beautiful. It is being housed in one of the town's warehouses right now, and it's going to be put in place by January 21st. I was promised by Donnie this morning. So, good news, because that's the deadline. I have to have it done by January 21st because it's grant money.
You told Donnie that that was a definite have to.
Yes, had to.
Okay.
So it's probably January 21st that'll happen. And I think I asked you guys before if you want to do a photo op. I thought it would be really good PR for the council members, and also the warden from the prison wants to come and be involved as well, just to show that community partnership that we engaged in. Additionally, we've still got some grant funding left over for that project. I've got about $8,000 left to put towards the mural, but we can't do anything with the mural yet until the issues are resolved with that wall. I did ask for an extension through DHCD for that grant money, and they have given me until May 31st. I don't think we're going to be able to get it done by May 31st, so I will have to ask for another extension. But just so everyone's aware, we didn't give up on the mural. We're working on it. We'll come up with a design, and we'll bring it to you guys and let you all vote on it and approve it, and before we move forward with anything. So,
Well, and just there's water issues with
Right.
the wall, right?
Right. That one, I don't know. So that's that. But I have some good news that you have not heard yet. Tazewell today received a $10,000 grant from Dominion Power we had to do a recreation-based project and it had to be tied to education some way, somehow. So we came up with the idea of putting in a kayak access point in North Tazewell on Riverside Drive, and also a shelter, like a really beautiful picnic shelter there. You all are familiar with where the big rock pile is right now. It's in that area. Ms. Mitchell and I are working with the property owner that we need his blessing and permission to move forward with that project. So hopefully we'll be seeing some action on that front, and some movement happening in North Tazewell and on Riverside Drive, and just another recreation aspect to bring people to Tazewell.
Very good.
Does anybody have any questions?
Good job.
All right.
Well, the education aspect is being tied into it. It's about
Education aspect, the Boy Scouts are gonna come and hold, some meetings there. Also, we partner with the Boy Scouts with their hometowns of the clinch designation, and so they have to, once a year, go and clean the clinch with Tazewell today. Anyway.
and we also have all of the, what are they, mussels? Is it mussels that are
Tennessee
in the
Hills
clinch
Pleasure
that
Club.
only exist in the clinch? and-
Hellbenders are the most interesting.
Hellbenders.
There, I think
They're big
it's,
lizards, right?
I may be misspeaking, I'll have to look at my grant application, but there's something like 280 different species in the clinch. It's the most biodiverse river in the United States.
You also have the intermediate school right across the street.
Exactly. So it will need additional funding to do signage, but I think signage there when you go home, Google Hellbender. It's a really cool looking lizard, and that's the name of it.
They're real slimy too.
They're
That was a
mean
heel
looking.
splitter.
Tennessee Hill Splitters actually looks like a
Isn't
monster.
that the one that slowed up the bridge construction at Harvey?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's the education aspect, is how diverse the clinch is and the mussels and that kind of thing. And so bringing that to light, I don't know if that's a well-known thing that's taught in school. When I was in school, it was a big push to save the mussels. And do you
I
remember?
don't remember any of that about school. Nothing.
We're saving them.
You remember. He was there. So, other than that, we're working on, event-wise, who knows, we'll just play it by ear and see how the restrictions are as we go forward into 2021. And we'll keep doing what we've been doing all of 2020 and holding things socially distant and in cars any time that we can. So, worst case scenario, we've got lots of property that we can pull a lot of cars into and make things happen. We're going to do a movie on the 13th, the Valentine's Day drive-in movie. So that'll be our first thing this year.
We're gonna try to stream the football games also. At the
I
Ramey's
believe
lot.
the school was going to do that,
We've
right?
already ordered the equipment. They haven't got it. We're like the only school that I know of that haven't got it yet. The only district. Lebanon's got it.
They're going
Junior
to get their own equipment, or, okay.
Yeah, they've already ordered it. They just haven't got it in yet.
Are they going to use the Ramey lot?
No,
Oh,
no, they'll stream them like right
it's
now.
not going to be a drive.
Like right now, you can actually watch the girls' basketball game.
Yeah, by somebody using their iPhone from 150 yards away.
Yeah.
So you can watch it at home.
I can't see
watch
which,
it
can you
right
tell
now.
which kid is yours?
Yeah.
Can you tell which kid is yours?
A little bit. So the grant for the amphitheater, who is it through?
It's through the HCD. We only got it because we already designated Virginia Main Street. We would not have been eligible otherwise.
How much is it?
$9,000.
Oh, yeah, you're well within procurement. Go ahead.
Hey, I'll take it. And that money is not going to be paid to the town or to Tazewell today. It is paid to an engineering firm out of Stanton that the HCD is under contract with. So, all right.
It's
Thank you
always
all.
good to hear the good news.
Yeah.
Thank you. There's no one else on the agenda or on the list? No? So next is any council comments? I know most of you spoke about the sports complex. If there are none, I've got a quick one besides welcoming Councilmember Beasley here. I've received a thank you card from a couple that were here visiting from Charlotte. On Christmas Eve, their car got stuck on Fincastle out near Hardee's. And just to show how good our town guys are, they dug them out. And not only did they dig them out, they kind of patrolled them and dug a path for them all the way to Fairgrounds Road so they could get to their designation. So, I mean, just yet again, it just shows the top-notch crew that we have that continues to do work for us. And not just, the public work guys, but our police and fire departments and our EMS. We just have some of the best people here, and it's great to work alongside you guys. Any other comments? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Should I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, stay so by saying aye. All opposed, stay so by saying nay.
Oh, look, we was like,